We no longer carry firearms on a simple hunting trip. Because of the escalation in violence around the country and around the world, we have gotten to the point where we feel a need to defend ourselves by carrying a weapon for self-defense. It has been, for years, we have seen professionals carry service weapons such as police officers, sheriff's deputies, and even security guards. And in recent years, the carrying of service weapons has come into question as far as arming EMTs and firefighters for the purpose of self-preservation while in the line of duty. Some states already have signed into law the ability of firefighters and EMTs to carry service weapons, either concealed or open carry. The governing states and their lawmakers must consider legal issues that could affect the weapon carrier and the victim of a possible use of force. Such things such as weapons qualifications and regular shooting practice at a designated shooting range should be mandatory. Policies and procedures must be developed to employ the use of deadly force. Another question that may arise here is, if there is a deadly shooting, will an outside source be used to investigate the shooting, such as the state police or some type of other another agency that can assist with the investigation? Although there have been documented incidents of some violent happenings with EMS personnel, the large majority of EMS calls go off without a hitch. Fire department and law enforcement or an ambulance responding to a call alone in some rural areas can be somewhat scary. But after arriving on the scene of the emergency, the crew should be trained to do a scene size up, checking for possible hazards to the crew, patients, and any possible bystanders. Then if the crew deems the scene safe, they will enter the scene of the injured or sick. Now, according to the CDC, more than 40% of injuries occur because of overexertion during lifting, such as back injuries, and the second one is the exposure to harmful substances such as infectious materials, body fluids, and the like. So in 2011, the total number in the US of licensed and credentialed EMS workers was that of 826,000. And there were 2,600 EMS workers that received medical attention due to violent injuries that occurred on the job. So we're looking at about 0.003% of EMS workers who may have experienced some type of work-related injury due to a violent event. And this was according to FEMA in an August 31st, 2017 article entitled Violence Against EMS Responders. The question is arming EMS providers the answer? There will be many opinions and thoughts on arming EMS personnel. One of the opinions is that arming EMS personnel will make them safer. And really, if we stop and we think about it, this is not the answer to this question. This does not make the EMS personnel safer, nor does it make them any more competent in their job. Competency is defined as the ability to do something successfully and efficiently. And we can take examples of law enforcement personnel. They carry service weapon on a day in and day out basis. And they continuously have training that is being evaluated, whether psychiatric or qualifying down the range. And then we can even see that there's many times where these law enforcement personnel fail these tests. So what are we to think? You're not only asking an EMS personnel to have two hats, one his EMS hat and the other his gun-toting hat. That may be putting a lot of pressure on these EMS personnel. Then we look at it and we say, okay, you've walked up to a fire station. Most of these fire stations have some type of sticker that says this is a safe place. Now, let's say in a community, a shooting occurs where somebody is injured or killed, and this was done either by the EMS or the fire crew. What kind of stance is the community going to take? I mean, the community is not going to trust the EMS or the firefighter or the station or overall the city firefighters that could have been involved in that shooting. If you look at the EMS Code of Ethics, it states, I solemnly pledge myself to do the following code of professional ethics: to conserve life, alleviate suffering, promote health, do no harm, and encourage the quality and equal availability of emergency medical care, to provide service based on human need and compassion and respect for human dignity, unrestricted by consideration of nationality, race, creed, or status, to not judge the merits of a patient's request for service, nor allow the patient's socio-economic status to influence our demeanor or the care we provide. So really, the Code of Conduct is just a guide. But why should we as citizens and lawmakers allow our EMTs and firefighters the ability to take lives when their mission is to save